Okay, you got your platformer game, but now you want a sword. So this is a continuation of the platformer game, but now we're going to make a sword. The first thing you need to do in order to make a sword is to open up like one of your sword left sprites, something like this, and you see this gap right here. This is where you want your sword hitbox thing to be. We're going to make an object that is placed right here that's going to act exactly like a bullet. So when there's a collision with this object in the enemy, you can destroy the enemy, take off health, knock it back, whatever you want to do. Alright, so to do that, let's duplicate the player's sword here. I want to place it in the right spot. So I just duplicated sword left, so this is going to be SPR, let's call it sword LFT, because I already have left made. It's for sword left. Okay. Now I'm going to go in and edit the sprite. I don't need this one. I'm going to delete it, delete it, delete it. I just need one of them. So I'm going to double click on that. And I'm going to zoom in so I can see what I'm doing. I'm going to grab myself a little box here. And I'm going to draw where I want the hitbox for my sword. Let's go right to there. Okay, so anything in here I'm going to consider to be damaged by the sword. Next thing I want to do is just get rid of the player. So I'm going to use my rectangle selection tool. I missed a little bit there. Let's do it again. Edit. Let's undo it. Let's do it perfect. Oh, bummer. Let's draw. I grab my selection tool. And okay, then I can delete the player. And the rest, you can get that more perfect if you want, but that's good enough for here, for all intents and purposes of learning. So there it is. I leave the origins the same and everything, and that's my sprite sword left. And you do that with you'll do that with the right one also. I'm just going to delete that because I already have my left and right made. So here's my sprite sword left. This is where the player was. And this is my sprite sword right. And the player was right here with sprite sword right. Okay. And a little word about the sprite player sword left and the sprite player sword right. The origins have to be in the same place relative to the player, or it looks like the player moves around. So this origin's at 0, 0, and I had to move this origin halfway over, right up next to his head, so it looks, it looked like the player was jumping around when he or she starts swinging. Okay, so let's open up the player sword here, and let's figure this out. Okay. Here's the sword player, and let's open up the parent here, and let's engage in creating the sword object when I swing, or when I press the space bar. Okay, so I'm going to use add event, of course, key press. It's going to be a space, and I am going to switch objects into object player sword, and yes, I will perform the events. Now I want to make sure that the player sword is facing the right direction when it's created. So, because it's only going to run one animation, and it's going to change back into standing or whatever. So I have a creation event, and I'm going to check to see which way I'm facing with the check variable here. Just check my facing right variable, and if it's false, that means I'm facing left. If I'm facing left, I'm going to create the instance. Well, actually, if it's facing left, I'm going to do several things. So let's put my code blocks in there. If it's facing left or facing right's false, I'm going to change into object or sprite player sword left, which is right here. So he's facing left. And then I'm going to create the instance of object sword left. Object sword left being this one right here. To create my little sword left thing, it's going to be relative, so it's going to be created right next to the player. Since I set it up to be created right in front of the player with the sprite, it's going to be created right there. And then, okay, if that's not true, you must be facing right. So I'm going to put an else in there, and I'm going to create the object sword right. Why do I have SPR sword left? It should be OBJ. I'm going to change that. Jeez. I'm going to get confused here. OBJ sword left. That's going to make much more sense. Let's see. Did it? Yes. OBJ sword left. OBJ sword right. Relative. So that's the sword object being created. Well, I'm going to pause it and then I'm going to load it up and let's see if it worked. Okay. Now see if it works here. Put this in focus. Back face. Let's face to the right first. Swing. There it is. Swing. Swing. Great. Swing, swing, swing. Yeah, I'm creating lots of little sword objects. But let's program those sword objects to do the right thing. So, alright. First of all, what I want to do is let's open up my sword right. Okay, put it over the top of this. I don't want it to stay on the screen like that. So at the animation end, which it's only one frame, it'll only be out there for one frame. At the animation end, I want to destroy that sword. Let's come over here to main and let's destroy self. Great, so now it won't stay on the screen. And I want to add an event, a collision with the enemy. Now here you can either take off hit points, or you can just destroy it. In this case, I'm going to destroy other, which is the enemy it hits. And I'm also going to destroy the sword too, because I don't want it to be able to pass through several enemies if I'm running around. So that should destroy both of them. And while we're here, let's just do the same thing. Let's just put an animation end. And then you're going to destroy yourself, the animation end, and then I'm going to collision with the enemy, and I want to destroy the other, which is the enemy, and then I want to destroy myself, so it's not out there forever. Okay, cross your fingers. Alright, we got it loaded up here. Back in focus. Yep, there it is. Bye-bye. 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 Jump sword. Jump sword. Alright, cool. That's an annoying little yellow box or white box there, but we know it's there. I know it works. Okay, so now the only thing I need to do is sword right, check off the visible, and then let's load it up again. Okay, we're dropped into the room now. There's my sword, and it is whacking enemies. Not a very creative enemy, but it's working for testing. Yee-haw! There you go. I think, oh wait. Why is that animation not ending? Oh, wait. Oops. Got a little bug. Let's see if I can fix it. Okay, we're back here. Let's think about this. Where there's my player sword. You don't want the animation to continue and continue and continue and continue and continue. So what you want to do is add event, and at the animation end, of that event. Let's just change it back into player stand, and yes, perform the event, so it'll check which direction it is. You could do an animation end and then do like a control to see if it's you know, we could try that. You could come in here and you could see, you know, if variable h speed is equal to, oops, already in there, equal to 0, we're going to change it in that. And then else we can change it into the object player walk and perform events for that creation event. And that way at the end of the animation, hey, if it's not moving, we're going to go to walk, and if it is moving or else, we're going to go into that. So let's cross our fingers once again. Okay, we can check here. Let me get the window in focus. And there it is. See, standing, sword swing, still standing, standing. Oh, I got a little problem there with it swinging back around. I'll have to work on that. But when it's sword left, okay, facing right, facing left, sword left, sword right, sword left, sword right. Switching back to right though. Interesting. Well, the reason mine was doing that is maybe I opened up a bad copy of this game, where I hope I did this in the other tutorial. I think I did, but when I wasn't doing the check when this was created, I was not checking to see if facing right was equal to false, and if that is to switch the sprite into stand right, player stand right. And that was the problem. It could have been that I loaded the wrong file. I believe I did that in the other tutorial, but that should fix it now. Yep, there she be. I think we got her all. Okay, a few errors, a few problems, but hey, I'm not going to edit them out. That's just the way it is. Get up at 4 in the morning and go to the gym. Sometimes you're a little tired in the later part of the day. All right, have a good one.